Secure is a product from GlobeX Data that has a different way of approaching cybersecurity. And with me is the CEO, Alain Ghiai, to explain Secure and GlobeX Data. Welcome, Alain. Great to see you again.
Great to see you, Jane. Thanks for having me, and hello to our viewer out there.
So let's start with the 30,000-foot view. Tell me about the company, the products, and then we'll dig a little deeper in exactly what you're trying to do.
Sure. So GlobeX Data SA is a private Swiss company started by myself. I'm the largest shareholder of that company, myself being a Swiss citizen as well. We started in 2007, 2008, and started to create a product which now is essentially called Secure Suite. It's a document management tool. It has an email. The data is all hosted in Switzerland. We use proprietary technology, and we don't use any big tech platform, which is a huge thing. In 2012, we spun off a US division, GlobeX Data Inc. We even had Comcast as clients who were on their first cloud platform. And in 2019, we created our Canadian division, which essentially did a microcap IPO in July 2019. And in October 2019, we got listed on the OTCQB under ticker SWISF, SWISF. So this is kind of the general picture of the company. Management has a 35% ownership, which is a very large ownership for a public company. So we definitely have the interests of all shareholders at hand.
Okay. And then we're focusing on the Secure product today, the suite of products. Go into a little bit more depth about what all you offer with Secure.
So Secure, spelled S-E-K-U-R, is a solution that offers secure communication. We have a Secure, which is an email and messenger. We have Secure Messenger, which is just a messaging app. And we're also launching Secure Voice at the end of this year, 2021, and Secure Pro in Q1 of 22, which will be a replacement to Zoom. So what's very particular about what we do is the following. First of all, we use proprietary technologies, and we don't use open source coding. That is huge because 99% of the software uses open source coding, and it has now reached its limit of advantages because hackers are getting into those right now. We also store our data only in Switzerland. So that's also nice because Switzerland has the highest data privacy laws in the world, the strictest. And we also do not host anything on big tech platform. We have our own. So we also protect our users from any kind of intrusive laws. So that's critical. So Secure is only $10 a month. You get a nice email, 100 gigabyte of storage. You can also email and message non-secure user, guaranteeing you and the recipient a round-trip communication in full privacy. The difference in what we do is that we communicate throughout our secure server environment in Switzerland, as opposed to sending information back and forth over the internet. So we don't have business email compromise, we don't have man-in-the-middle attack, and these kind of hacks that you read about every day all over.
Every day. And that's a key thing, is that you can use a secure product, but the person you're communicating with does not need to have it in order for you to communicate and for it to be secure. Correct.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to communicate with my stockbroker, for example, and I need them to wire money in my bank account. Typically, a person would email, even if they have the best email in their office. When the email leaves their server, it becomes unprotected. And this is how hackers can get in. They read and scan the documents, they read everything, and now they have your bank account information, and they can even go in and take money out. There's been many articles published about bank accounts being emptied by hackers. Whereas with us, we use our technology called Secure Send. My broker can open it, and then they can secure reply, and the whole thing happens only within our secure Swiss environment. So, and they don't need to have the application at all. And we do the same with instant messaging, where we basically send a message to someone via an email, and then they click and they chat with us directly. It opens this closed loop pipeline.
And that's the key thing, is that you don't use like the biggies, like the Amazon Web Services. You touched on it a little bit, but that's really kind of your secret sauce, right?
Yes, we actually have a few layers of secret sauce. So one of them is the infrastructure. That is massive. So we don't use the big tech like Amazon Web Service, Microsoft or Google Cloud, and so forth. Most companies, even the private ones, they have no choice. They go to Amazon Web Service. We also don't require you to put your phone number when you register to our service and download the app, because the minute you give your phone number away in a messaging application, hackers can get into your device, and they also can get into all your contacts, because people synchronize their contact and upload all their contacts. So we have a thing called secure number. It's like the old Swiss bank account number 50 years ago, where you had this secret bank account information. And here it's a secure number as opposed to your real phone number. So you get anonymity, privacy, security, and nobody can get in like that because they don't even know you're using it.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned that we read about a hack literally every day. How big is the market for secure?
We've done some research, and a while back we found that, first of all, according to the World Economic Forum, which is held in Davos, Switzerland every year, the cybersecurity is costing the global economy $7 trillion a year. That's quite a lot in real damage and lack of productivity. The market for cybersecurity, which is a very vast sector, it could be from hardware to software, is about $500 billion a year. So it's a big market, 500 billion. Some of that is email, some of that is machines, some of that is communication. Definitely, we can take a slice out of that.
Well, and I imagine it's just a growing market too. I mean, it feels like the hackers are always out there and outsmarting us and getting in there. So it seems like it's a huge growth industry.
Well, we basically rely on data for everything now. So if you want to sell a product, you're going to basically buy some data and target people based on that data. Data is everywhere. It's the new oil, essentially. And we create new data every month, and everything, even your thermostat has a data right now. So it's going to get much worse. It's an exponential problem. And the big issue is because way back when everybody started to develop these cloud platforms that were free and easy to use, namely the big tech platform, now we see the other side of the coin, the more negative side, the weakness, and that's where all the hackers get in.
So what are your plans then for growth in the next 12 to 18 months?
Great. So we just raised about $5 million this month through a private placement. We have about $7 million plus in the bank. We have no debt. We have plenty of cash to execute our marketing plan. Our focus right now is to push heavily in the US. So we started with what we call a mass market. It's doing really well. Now we're going into businesses because businesses will be able to have their email domain hosted with us. We're also going to have some very unique advertising campaigns that we're doing. I'm going to say it now because by the time this gets published, it'll be out. We just rented the biggest electronic board on the NASDAQ building. So we're very excited. We've done a lot of investment in New York. We have about 200 electronic panels in the subway and so forth. So the plan is to keep pushing this and really grow into businesses and so forth in the US in the next 18 months in a very aggressive way.
Well, very exciting to see your brand and to see it on the NASDAQ, and I've seen it in the subway and on television. And you really have made a commitment to New York City. In terms of advertising, hiring, expanding. Talk to me about that a little bit.
New York City is one of the centers of the world, and we really believe in the city. I mean, if you're established in New York, which is a financial center and the economic center of the US, essentially, you can spread from there. So we're spending a lot of money hiring media company, hiring people, spending money in New York, and making New York our base in the US. And we actually, down the road, we would like to eventually uplist our stock to the NASDAQ exchange. That is our plan in the next couple of years. So we have a lot of faith in New York. We want to support New York. New York has suffered lately through the COVID economic crisis and so forth. And we really believe in the city. I think the city is going to come back in a big way in the coming years. And we want to be there before everybody else comes. That's the idea. So you want to be there when nobody wants to, and then once you're there, you're entrenched. And that's what we're doing. We have Newsmax, the NASDAQ board, the subways. So we're excited. In the next couple of years, we're going to grow exponentially. I think the next few quarters, we were looking at it the other day, we're going to grow at high double-digit per quarter over the next 3 years. And we're going to be very aggressive to push that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I live in New York and it is coming back. I can tell. So we appreciate, your effort here. So finally, Alain, I mean, how can somebody find out more about Secure? Can they go to a website and download? How does all of that work?
Sure. So we have a website called secure.com, sekur.com. Or if you want to go to our corporate side, it's globexdata.com. globexdata.com. Secure.com is good because you can see the product, you can go right there. If you want to look at our ticker, it's trading under the ticker SWISF, SWISF in the US. In Canada, it's SWIS, and in Frankfurt, we trade under GDT, on the Frankfurt Exchange. I want to mention one of the big product launch that we're going to do next year. Failed to mention, we're launching our own email application. And the reason for that is that we noticed that people have sometimes a hard time configuring an email. But if you just want to go and register, push a button, download, and you're done, this is going to be our secure mail app. It's going to be launching Q1. And I think the growth, once we have that app, is going to be very high, because that's one of the barriers sometime if you want to go to millions of people, just like Gmail does or others. We just want to make sure like it's a two-step thing and we're done. And we're going to have that in Q1. So we're pretty excited. So yeah, SWISF for the ticker, secure.com, sekur.com. Just Google it, look it up, or go to our website. And we have a great support system as well if you have questions.
Okay. Well, this is certainly an important and growing industry as we go forward with more digitization of the world. So thank you so much, Alain, for coming and explaining Secure and GlobeX Data.
You're welcome. It's all digital and we never data mine you. That's important to know.
Thank you.